Hi, everybody. Elida Zweidler-McKay. I'm here with Engaging Leadership, where we're all about helping you become the kind of engaging leader that you want to be with your staff, and also helping you learn how to engage the leaders in the organization around you so that you can get the kinds of opportunities that you want to have in your career. So today I want to talk to you about feeling stuck. I've been on the phone with lots of clients, lots of potential clients over the last few weeks, and this word stuck just keeps coming up over and over and over again. And so today I wanted to dig into that a little bit and talk with you about some alternatives and some ways that you can get out of feeling stuck. So there are a couple of different versions that I'm hearing. For some people, the sense of feeling stuck has to do with sort of being in a career where they're not getting opportunities to move up. They've maybe been up for promotion, but it's not come through, or they've interviewed for jobs at the next level and they're not getting them. And they're just not sure what's getting in the way or why that's not happening for them. And they end up feeling like there's just no way forward for them in their current companies or in their current line. And, couple that with the sense of uncertainty that people are feeling right now with the economic situation and the coronavirus. And they sort of feel like, maybe I'm not in the right company, but I don't know how to move or whether to move. And so that contributes to this feeling of being stuck. And the experience for those folks is, I want to say it's like a little bit like walking through a field of mud. It's like every step you try to take is just a real effort and like ugh, and like you can see where you want to go, but you just can't get there and you're not sure why not. And so that's one version of feeling stuck that I'm hearing from people. And then the other version of feeling stuck is people who are maybe happy in their jobs. They're okay. I mean, they like their work generally, they like what they're doing, they're happy in their company, but their version of stuck is like stuck from all the work that's come their way. It's like there's so much to be done right now in terms of managing a team and making sure everybody's doing what they need to do and getting the support that they need in the current situation. There's all these different ways that companies are having to flex and pivot and move, and all these different initiatives people are trying in order to keep going during the coronavirus. And that's leading to just more work than any human beings could possibly do. And so that's a version of stuck that almost feels more like being on a hamster wheel. Like you're just running as fast as you can, but you can't get ahead of it. You can't get out in front of all the work that's in front of you. And, maybe you have a team that you can really count on and rely on, but they're already overwhelmed and overloaded. So you can't really offload more work to them. Or maybe you don't quite have the team you need. And that feels even worse because here you are running as fast as you can, and you've got some folks you can't quite rely on or you can't quite give everything to. So all of those are sort of the hamster wheel version of stuck. And either way, whether what you're experiencing is the stuck in the mud version or the hamster wheel version, the result of that sense of stuck and unable to shift can take a real toll. It can start to lead to different versions of escape, maybe some depression, maybe some anxiety, maybe some bad habits, comfort eating, maybe drinking more than you want to, other versions of escape that begin to start to have an impact on your personal life. So that sense of feeling a little bit stuck at work and then a lot stuck at work can then start to expand and overflow into all aspects of your life, all sorts of different relationships. And the cost to that can be really quite high. That's the reason it's so important to get in front of it and to get on top of it. In fact, I was just reading a study that was done in June by the CDC that showed that something like 40% of American adults were showing some symptoms of mental health issues. Not surprising, right? Like this has been one of the most stressful times that any of us can remember, at least maybe not any of us. I say that as my dad is 93 and remembers World War II, and so does my mom. But certainly it's up there in terms of stressful times. And in the face of the coronavirus pandemic, all the stress that people were feeling around the election and may still be feeling around that, all the different uncertainty that we've been experiencing, can really amplify that sense of both stuckness and anxiety. And, when we're in the face of all this uncertainty, that can cause us to really hunker down and contribute to our own sense of stuck because like it doesn't feel safe to move or to change or to do anything. So we end up in this kind of vicious cycle where the work that's coming at us has us feeling stuck in one way or the lack of opportunity, and then our own worry about not wanting to make a move or not wanting to make a change can contribute to that, so that we end up in this kind of place where we're just sort of paralyzed. I want to tell you, it does not have to be that way. You do not have to stay stuck and paralyzed. So while most people are hunkered down and feeling that sense of stuck, there are people out there, are professionals out there who are finding a way to move forward, to get off the hamster wheel, out of the mud, and really take that next step for their careers. They're using this period of uncertainty as an opportunity to find out what's next for them. They're using this period as an opportunity to build their skills and grow their abilities to be better leaders, to be better at delegating, to be better at balancing their work and their life, so that they can come through this period in a better place than they are now. And for those folks, they're in a place where they're actually finding that next career move. They're landing that next promotion. They're finding that next job. And the result is that they don't wake up every day feeling stuck. They wake up energized and motivated and ready and on top of it and moving forward in a way that is reducing their stress in this time of chaos. It's giving them a sense of not only forward motion, but a sense of agency, that they're on top of it, that they can control their own destiny. And that is so powerful, not only for their careers, but for their own mental health and their own feeling of capacity, really. So I wanted to talk with you about some of the strategies that help make that possible. This is certainly stuff that I work on with my clients, but just to boil it down to a few ideas that you might consider. In a piece in Harvard Business Review from April called "Don't Let Uncertainty Paralyze You," Nathan first shared his findings. What he did was he went out and looked at people who deal with massive uncertainty. He looked at people who play the stock market. He looked at people who are professional gamblers, all these kinds of people who deal with uncertainty on a daily basis. And what he found was that there were three common habits that really helped people deal with uncertainty and be successful in the face of it. The first was that they were able to think really broadly about their situation. So rather than thinking just narrowly about the context that they're currently in, people who were really able to deal with uncertainty well were able to look up out of that context and see a broader set of possibilities, a broader sense of capacity to see what might be possible out there in the world. So the first thing you can do if you're feeling really stuck is to look up above the fray and see what is out there and what are some possibilities that you might not be considering yet. The second thing he found was that people who were able to deal with uncertainty thought less in terms of binary either or, yes, no kind of choices, and more in terms of scenarios. So instead of thinking like, should I stay or should I go from this job, for instance, or should I go for the promotion or not go for the promotion? People who are able to deal with the uncertainty better thought more in terms of multiple routes, like I'll stay for a month, I'll stay for 6 months, I'll stay for 2 years. And then they're able to play out those scenarios and see the possibilities that could expand from them. Or, I'll go for this promotion, and if I get it, this is what I'll think. And if I don't get it, this is what I'll think. And and maybe I'll also look over here in the meantime. So like finding multiple pathways. That was another way of dealing with the uncertainty, is creating multiple pathways and then mapping out potential futures across all of them. And then the third strategy, the third habit, was to really believe that the possibilities always exist. In other words, they had their mindset really dialed in to the idea that there's always a way, there's always a possibility, there's always a pathway out. So they didn't let themselves settle into a belief that stuck was where they were meant to be. And that is one of the most important things that you can do for your career and for your mental health, really, is to have that sense of possibility, to shore up your beliefs and your identity as someone who always finds a way. Viktor Frankl was quoted in this HBR article from his experience in the Nazi concentration camps, and he said, "Everything can be taken from a person, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in a given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." In other words, to get out of stuckness, the first thing you have to believe is that there is a way out for you. I know there is. If you'd like to talk more about that, we can get on the phone and do just that. This is exactly the kind of thing that I help my clients with to get them out of stuck in their careers and moving forward in the way they want to be. So if you're looking for a hand out of the mud bog or someone who can help slow down that hamster wheel so you can get off of it, let's talk. We'll dig into your current situation and we'll begin to map out some of those possibilities for you. And we'll look at the next steps that it would take for you to get there. And if I'm a good fit to support you in making those steps or figuring out that next path, we'll talk about what that could look like. And if I'm not, that's okay too. I'll see if I can point you to other resources, because my goal on that call is for you to get some real clarity about what are those possibilities, what is out there beyond the sense of stuff that you're feeling right now, so that you can get in motion and get something going that's going to make a difference in your career, really taking your career and your life to that next level. To schedule your call, go to zmcoach.net/call. I really look forward to talking to you. Take care.